Rambling Rose, a rambling rose. Come on, everybody. Why you ramble? Why you?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rose, and this is the Naked Rose channel. And no, it's not because I'm naked, it's just because I have decided to open up my life to you, well, elements of it anyway, and thought somebody out there might benefit from the musings that I have and some random insights into some things that I do. So yeah, hi, hope you've been well. And 2020 hasn't been too crazy for you. I know pandemic has been pretty awful for a lot of people. Yeah. So, a little bit about me. I am 42. I live in Gold Coast, Australia. And I have 3 children, 3 little ladies, and a doggy called Diesel. I work full time, and I also write and produce music for my hobby band that I have with my partner, James. And why hobby band, you say? Because I can't call myself a professional singer. I don't know why that's funny, but anyway, I think I'm funny. And isn't that what life is all about, really? If you can't laugh at yourself, like, what's the point? If you can't make yourself laugh, then that is something you need to get started on. I know it works for me. Because damn, there's been a lot of dark days. And you know what? Such is life, they say, isn't it? Yeah, here you go. I'm starting to ramble already, but you'll soon get to know. That's pretty much what I'm all about. So, if you want to join me on this journey and have a chat with me, leave me a comment in the boxes below. Say hello. Ask me questions and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. I love sharing my insights into a lot of things. I think I've got a few nuggets of wisdom along the way that I can share. I'm always here to listen. Yeah. So let's get going. So here's the first musing I've got. Love. The whole concept of love and the complexity of what it is. I grew up in a highly toxic, abusive household. And that was pretty much life-consuming in the first part of my existence here on the planet. I was so hungry for love. Everything I did was in a quest to be loved by the people around me. Because I didn't have that initial experience of love as you would do from a loving family. In fact, really, do many of us do? Some of us do. I'm sure of it. But my guess is that there's always elements of love that we're, as a human race, feel that we're missing out of. Anyway, back to me. My journey to love was all about the hunger, the quest in searching for love in all the wrong places because I didn't know what it was to love myself. And so, the first bit of my life, it was all about being smarter than, well, not smarter than anyone, mostly just being the smartest I could, studying really hard, working really hard to get attention, working really hard to get the appreciation and the approval of my parents that I was never going to get. And don't feel sorry for me. I'm actually really grateful in this moment in time for that experience, because you'll hear later on about what it means for me in the journey to realizing that the attainment or the quest for love really is all about learning how to love yourself first and foremost. And there's plenty of literature out there. You will see, I'm sure. Anyone who's ever wondered about what it means to love you, there's plenty on Google, there's plenty in the movies, there's plenty in blogs and vlogs about what it is, how it works. But I'm just here to share how it was for me, in the hope that you may find benefit from the lessons I've learned. So, back to the story. My real lesson, the epiphany of learning what it is about love and how it works, is when I had my kids, believe it or not. I thought I knew everything there was about love prior to that. I didn't. I was absolutely clueless. I didn't know how to connect to people. I didn't know really what it meant to love myself. I actually spent a greater part of my youth, right up to my mid-30s, loathing myself. That's a big, strong, powerful word. But that was the reality of who I was back then. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't think much of my personality. I just learned a lot of really negative conditioning from the toxic family I grew up in. And what I'm here to say is that all that can be unlearned, because I did that. And anybody can. I am by no means smarter or more capable than anybody else. I just asked a lot of questions. I had to look inside myself and find the path to what I was seeking. What was I seeking? Love. From the lack of the love I wanted in my childhood. So the early 20s, my youth, my teens, my early 20s was looking for acclamation, adoration, approval externally from everybody else. And it came to the point where I was just, I felt like an empty bucket, It must have felt for others that I was maybe needy. I'm not sure. I don't know. You'll have to ask the people that know me. So when I had my kids, in fact, it started prior to when I had kids, I thought to myself, right, how do I do better? How do I undo the toxic ideas of what love is, or the lack of the, before I have my kids? Because I want for my children better than what I had. But how do I learn how to love if all I have is a reference of the lack of from when I was growing up? And that was when the journey began. I read books about self-love, about self-appreciation, so on and so forth. But none of it really made sense. Up here, I read the information, but until you feel it, I speak for me, by the way, until I felt it, it was hard for me to really understand from the pits of my being, from here, the gut, right? And basically, it really clicked when I had my children and I was faced with a lot of the insecurities in myself that I saw in my very young babies. And it made me realize, no, I can't see them through these tainted glasses that I've got. I felt really, what I meant to say is I felt really triggered. I'll give you an example. When my eldest daughter was so little, she wasn't even, I would say, she wasn't even 2 years old. And I had just given birth to my second daughter. And my eldest daughter was learning how to interact with other children, and she was showing signs of anxiety. That really triggered me. That brought up in my insides great feelings of discomfort, and not in a nice way. And I had to step back for a second and thought, why does this make me feel a little bit annoyed? This beautiful child that I love so dearly, whenever she displays anxiety, it makes me feel icky. This didn't go on for very, very long. It probably only went on for about 3 months. And I had to step back, go into myself and think, what is this? What is this speaking to me? And it made me at that point realize that I suffer from anxiety. I do. I suffer from a great amount of anxiety. And a lot of the people that I know in life probably don't realize that about me, but I do. I'm okay with it because I have learned how to manage it, and it's something you can work with. So back to the story of identifying anxiety within myself. I had to also then delve into the depths of how I really truly felt about myself. And that was when I realized, I don't really like myself that much. It didn't feel good enough. And we all have moments like that. But I'll only, for this instance, speak of myself because I cannot generalize for anybody else. And I don't wish to. I'm hoping this video will speak to someone out there that identifies with the questions of anxiety and what it means, and is looking for answers. No answers. I'm not a pirate. Looking for answers on their journey. So, looking into my anxiety, I then figured out, okay, there's a lot to work with within myself. I didn't feel good about my body. I didn't think I was good enough for the marriage that I was in. I didn't feel clever enough, smart enough, accomplished enough. I didn't feel enough. Didn't feel like I was doing enough. And all that compounded itself into a tight, hard ball that I held so closely inside of me that made it really, really hard for anybody to touch me on here, in the heart center. And also made me a less authentic human being, which meant I spent so much time trying to be somebody else, too afraid to show who I really am, who I really was, and too afraid to just be. So that's where the journey began. And on this journey, I'd love to share with you what it really, really means to travel on that journey of really showing yourself compassion, of really loving yourself just as you are, of really just opening up, being vulnerable, being okay with you, knowing that you are eternal, that there is nobody on the face of this planet in this current space of time that embodies the chemistry, the physical setup of who you are. Nobody who carries your energy. Nobody who's exactly you. You are so unique. Yeah, we all have to work on being better versions of ourselves. I get that. Life is a journey of growth, without a doubt. But it starts from being okay with who you are at this very point, for where you are in your life at this very point, warts and all. From that, with just being okay, even if it's just being okay with just a tiny sliver of who you are right now, opens your heart up a little bit for embracing the magnitude of who you really are, which will unfold the more authentic you become. And to allow the pain on the inside from past wounds, past conditioning, past trauma, to heal itself. I'm a great believer in the power of love for ourselves. Because, as the saying goes, you cannot love someone else, truly cannot love anybody else on this planet, be it human or animal. You cannot love anybody else truly until you learn to love you first. It's not being selfish, it's the actual truth. Because until you love yourself and until you can feel compassion for yourself and understand your human condition and allow yourself to make mistakes and allow yourself to be present in this journey, you won't be able to show that love and compassion for anybody else. Because we all make mistakes in every part of our lives. It's the human condition. We learn to embrace that. We must. So this is just one of the rambles I've got that I'm really passionate about. I want to share more with you. And let me know if you have any questions and I will feed you answers as best as I can. I come to you with love and gratitude for sharing your time watching me as I ramble today. And I hope that some of the information I've said in this video today might offer you some insight into the fact that it's okay being on your journey, being who you are right now, and there's more good stuff to come. So stay with me, keep a lookout for more content that I'm putting up online, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Remember to do something nice for yourself, no matter how little it is, just for you. You don't have to answer to anybody. Love yourself, love your family, love your life, love you, do you. Thank you. I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye from the Naked Rose.